Hey folks, another one of our progress videos on hacking up the Firebird for a street rod here. So I just sectioned the front clip off of the car, and I figured this would be a good chance to show you. That's what I use for sectioning it, is the 040 or cutoff wheel on the grinder and a Sawzall. I don't use a torch because torches have a habit of lighting these things on fire. As you can see inside of a lot of these cross members, they've got sealant foam and seam sealer, and all of that stuff is petroleum based. So if you get it hot enough, it will ignite, and since it's inside of the sections of the car, often it's next to impossible to get it out. So unless you really like burning your vehicles, avoid using a torch. Or make sure, if you have no choice but to use a torch, make sure that you've got a fire extinguisher, water source, and an air hose around. Because often the only way to get in there to put it out, a fire extinguisher would never get in there unless it's a CO2 pressure fire extinguisher. So what you have to do is take the garden hose and the air hose and blow it so that you scatter a mist of water into the closed channel in order to try and get it put out. So yeah, otherwise CO2 fire extinguishers can get in there, but they're going to blow the molten tar all over the place as well. But anyways, the way that I do this is I always leave way more meat on the car or the section that I'm keeping than I do on my drop. So obviously if you're trying to save both pieces, let's say you're going to put this front clip onto another car, you would have to figure out where you want to cut it. But otherwise I'm throwing this section away. So I left myself quite a bit of meat away from the car to make sure that I don't nick something that I'm going to keep. And then I can start sectioning that back and make it really clean. But rather than risk damaging my firewall section or something else, because in this case I'm leaving the windshield wipers, and the cowl all in place, and the original mounting for the brake booster and steering column and such. So I don't want to damage that section of firewall, otherwise I'm just causing more work for myself. And I also may or may not, I haven't decided yet, mate the structure of my subframe into these upper towers somehow, so that the cowl of the car helps add structure to my frame. And that wouldn't be necessary for most street rods, but if I do decide to push this thing up into the 800 horsepower or something stupid like that later, having the body section of the car be part of my structure would help limit cowl shake and other such things. So I don't want to violate the structure and take that option away from me right now. So like I say, I kind of sectioned this out and then made sure to not damage the tray here, but then I can get rid of all of this metal and bring that back to the firewall and clean those lines up real nice so that it looks pretty, and then start getting rid of this frame and get rid of the floor. But that's how I'm doing it, and there's your massive structure of said car. Is just 24 gauge or 20 gauge sheet metal and a gusset plate underneath to kind of take the load. So that's what's holding your 600 horsepower Camaros together, is just layer upon layer of very lightweight steel. And because of the layering that they do and the way that the structure carries the load, it is really, really strong until it rusts. And that's one of the other things I kind of wanted to show you on these Firebirds and Camaros. This is the most common place for them to rust. This little hole right here, and then this hole up on the firewall there, are at your key points where the structure of the car, where this box brings the load into your rocker panels there. Because this plate of steel that sits inside of here, right here, is your main frame of the car. And where that box transfers the load from your front clip to from the firewall in the front clip, I should say, to the side panel there of your rocker panel. And then back here, that's right where your lower link for your axle is. This plate that we can see through this rust is actually the bottom of your third link for your axle. And so when these things rust, this is the most common place, is this lower arm for your lower control arm rots out and separates from the floor. And then your axle comes loose on the rear of them. So you can also see we got a little bit of rust there and up here at the front of the floor. All in all, this car is in really, really good shape. This is by far a very restorable car. Those points pretty well rust from the time that the car is about 5 years old on. And so the fact that this is a 30-year-old car and that's all it has for rust, this was considered a very restorable car till some idiot took a Sawzall to it. But hopefully that idiot makes something more cool out of it than just any average old red Firebird. So we'll see what happens. Keep watching. We'll see how this project evolves. Thank you for watching.